Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. I'm really excited to be here. And thank you, Tom, Francesca, and Nicole from the Blue Moose Club and Troy Innovation Garage communities. I really feel honored to be part of that community. It's incredible, and it's pushed me leaps and bounds from what I thought I would be at today. So, my name is Gabby again. I founded Co, and I'm really excited to share the mission with you today and the story behind why I developed GoMads. So, about 2 years ago, I was sitting in a desk job, 9 to 5, chained to the desk, two big TV monitors, a phone, like who even uses a phone anymore anyway, and minimal human interaction, unless I would get up from my desk and go to the coffee station. I was completely unfulfilled with what I was doing. I felt that my business wasn't making any impact in the community. I felt that my impact on the community was very minimal. So I decided to quit my very well-paying job with amazing benefits to travel Europe for 3 months. I moved out of my dope apartment in downtown Troy, sold all of my stuff, and decided I was going to embark, and as cliche as it sounds, to really find myself and find my purpose. So for about half of that time, that 3 months, I was traveling by myself. And I had been more creative during that time than I've ever been. I was writing, I was thinking, I was reflecting, and I had the opportunity to talk to a lot of other millennial-age American travelers who were doing the same thing I was doing in Europe. Either they had quit their jobs or they graduated college and were trying to find their purpose. And we talked about a lot of the same things. How after college, it's very hard to remain involved in your community. You get stuck in the 9 to 5 grind, you feel like your impact isn't as great. People aren't waving flyers telling you to sign up for this or do this. We also talked about how we had traveled so much abroad, 50, 100 countries, but we had never been to the opposite coast. But we appreciated the diversity and the rich culture that our states had to offer. And so I decided I was going to combine my two biggest passions, travel and community service, into developing this community, into developing this movement. So I decided to start CoMads, a combination of community, collaboration, and the wandering nature of nomads. Basically, encouraging people to live a travel and do good lifestyle. So as Francesca said, we curate experiences for people within the United States that focus on local culture, conscious consumerism, and community impact through hands-on volunteer experiences or through donations to nonprofits that are effective. And I realized that in order to develop a strong community, to develop a strong company, I would have to have a few core values. Every product and service that CoMads puts out needs to align with these values. So I developed the Trinity of Modern Travel, which encompasses mindful tourism, conscious consumerism, and community impact. And I would love to talk to you more about this all day. I have limited time, but please visit my website, read more about it, reach out to me. I'd love to talk to you about these values that CoMads has. So aside from me having 50, 75 conversations with people abroad about the Travel and Do Good mission, and indeed, I did realize that people were looking for a company, looking for a community like this, I decided that maybe I should have some quantitative support for my idea. And I was really shocked by what I found. I found that millennials are 2 times more likely than their parents or grandparents to spend money on hiring a travel consultant or agent. Instead of, going on Google or using social media, they want to hire someone that can give them an authentic cultural experience. I also found that 44% of millennials do value spending money on something like this. And that's because millennials are very experience-driven. We don't want to spend money on products or things. We want an authentic, transformational experience. And also, travel abroad is glamorized, right? And so I wasn't sure that domestic travel would really be the way to go. It was something I was passionate about, but I did find, actually, that 85% of vacations this year were taken within the United States. That's up 7 points from last year. 13.9 million more vacations were taken within the states than outside the states. But there's more. So I also found that 50% of millennials take the same trip every year. They had a good experience last summer at this place. They figure they'll go back to the same place this year, have a good experience. But truly, they want more. They just don't have the time to plan. It takes 8 to 10 hours for a person to plan one trip. That's longer than an average workday. And they get bored within 40 minutes. Like, who wants to plan? I do, but most people don't. So I decided to create something that solved all of these problems. And I'm really excited because it's rolling out on November 14th, right in time for the holidays. And I designed it for the busy, socially conscious traveler, called Package with a Purpose. And essentially, I will curate a day-to-day itinerary based on your interests, your travel needs, your wants, your desires, maybe your limitations, somewhere within the US that you pick or I pick. I tell you where to go, what to see. I work with locals, I work with small business in the area, and I design a one-of-a-kind itinerary for you. I take the planning process right out. Especially if you love the COMADS values, this is the way to go because I plan everything based on the Trinity of Modern Travel. My favorite part about it is that a large portion of the proceeds will be donated right here to a local nonprofit in the Capital Region, actually a member of the Bull Moose Club and Troy Innovation Garage, Mission Accomplished Transition Services. COMADS will sponsor one of their students at the end of the year to take a COMADS trip within the United States where they will engage in a professional development opportunity through a conference, also give back in the communities that they travel to. And the reason I wanted to do this was because travel has made such an impact on my life. It's changed me. And not everybody has the opportunity to travel. So if I can use COMADS as a vehicle to give somebody a travel experience that wouldn't have had otherwise, I want to do that. So aside from the Package with a Purpose, November 14th, there are a few other ways that COMADS is redefining modern travel. And that's through group travel experiences, weekend experiences, week-long experiences, corporate experiences. Social responsibility, especially if you're a business owner, should be a priority. Not just because it's the right thing to do, but because the up-and-coming workforce, millennials, 67% of millennials look into a business's social responsibility before they take a job. So if you want to attract talent, if you want to retain talent, social responsibility should be at the forefront of what you do. Also, community building events, which I've already been undertaking the last couple of months. How can I get people within the Capital Region to come together, empower their inner traveler, empower people to do good in our community and beyond? So, I leave you with this. I honestly believe that the future of travel is COMADS. We are redefining what it means to be a modern day traveler. How can we impact the communities that we go to? And how do we set the standard for what it means to be a modern day traveler? So when you think of travel, when you think of US travel, please think of COMADS. Whether you need one-on-one travel consulting, Package with a Purpose, join one of our group trips, come to our events, please find us on Instagram, Facebook, register on our email subscription list for all the updates, and thank you so much for having me tonight. Sorry. Any questions? You want me to sing? Yes.
Gary, can you tell me, how do you replicate and scale your passion?
I'm sorry.
How do you replicate and scale your passion to grow your team?
Yeah, well, that's really interesting. So I was really lucky that at the beginning, let me repeat the question. He said, how do you replicate and scale your passion? How do you grow your team? Well, right now, it's just me. So I am hoping that once I roll out Package with a Purpose and we get a little bit busier, I can bring on, in my dream world, would be a local college student with a background in travel who values some of the same things I do, maybe a social work student, for example. But right now, it's just me. I'm working on COMADS. I do a bit of nonprofit consulting through COMADS. I'm working on a cultural tourism initiative here within the Capital Region. So hopefully over the next year, I can bring more people on who value travel and community service the way I do. Anybody else? Yes.
So if we want to plan a trip, we contact you?
Yeah, if you want to plan a trip, you contact me. Exactly. Yes, thank you. Yes, I specialize, I've traveled abroad immensely, but COMADS, like I said, I really want it to be US focused. I think we have such great diversity and culture within our own states, And especially with the political and social climate that we have right now, I think everyone can do a little bit more to give back. So if I can plan a trip for you and also a hands-on volunteer experience that is meaningful for you, the traveler, and also the nonprofit organization, I would love to do that. Yes.
How does your process work? Be it an individual or a corporate business that wants to do this?
Yeah. The question was, how does your process work if you're an individual or a business that wants to partake in the COMAD's mission? So basically, I'm a very hands-on person. I think it's really important that I work with people and businesses who align with the same values that I have. And also, it's very flexible and catered to what type of person you are, what type of business you are. How can we implement programming, something as small as a day experience to a weekend experience? For your employees, you want to do something that's more ongoing. Really finding the causes that are important to you, your company culture, and designing a plan around that.
Great.
Thank you, guys.